We finally have a head coach. After months of speculation and rumors, a Woj bomb dropped earlier today saying that J.J Redick will be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. And we are here to break down everything we know about the story and also talk about who could be possibly joining J.J Redick on his staff as assistant coaches. What's good, y'all? And welcome to another Lakers Digest video. I'm your host, Okechi Apakama, and before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, guys, I want to bring your attention to something. There is 78% of you guys who have recently watched our videos who are not subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of those Laker news and updates, especially with the draft coming next week, you guys want to make sure you are subscribed to Lakers Digest so you guys do not miss any of those updates. Now, let's hop into the fun story of the day, as I had to leave the chair for this one, guys, as the Lakers hired J.J Redick. So, Jonathan Clay Redick, or J.J Redick to the rest of the world, who is a former Duke basketball legend, a 15-year NBA veteran, an ESPN commentator and analyst, a seasoned podcaster, and all-around basketball sicko, his words, not mine, will be the next head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, the 27th, in fact, in this franchise's history. So, here is the tweet from earlier today, as Adrian Wojnarowski reported that J.J Redick has agreed on a 4-year contract to become the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka offered this job this morning, and Redick started working on his staff to surround himself with experience. So that is very important there, that last sentence there, is surrounding himself with experience, because J.J Redick is coming into this role as a first-time head coach, and especially coming into this Laker job, that is a really tough gig to handle for many first-time coaches. So bringing on experience really makes sense. But let's talk a little bit more about Redick, as he was offered a 4-year deal. Johan Buha of the who's a beat writer for the Los Angeles Lakers, reported that it's going to be around an $8 million per season. So he'll get 4 years, $8 million per season, which is about $32 million. So that's a nice little stack of money for J.J Redick. Obviously, it's not near those Dan Hurley numbers that we saw rumored there, just because Dan Hurley has a little bit more cachet and stuff like that. But I think that is a nice offer that you have for J.J Redick, and it will give him time to not only build for now, but also build into whatever the future could be for this Los Angeles Lakers team. Also, the Lakers bringing in J.J Redick, that first-time head coach, as I said, there is going to be some talk about who these possible assistant coaches could be. But Redick coming in as a first-year head coach and trying to right the ship for this Los Angeles Lakers team that lost in that first round against the Denver Nuggets is going to be a very tall task. If you ask me, like, I haven't had any issues with J.J Redick basketball-wise, because I do believe he is really sound and really smart in that way. Also, the Lakers do in that realm, because according to Shams, the Lakers believe that J.J Redick could be their version of Eric Spoelstra. And this was the quote here, saying that a 39-year-old Redick checks many of the boxes on the Lakers' extensive checklist on their next head coach. He has drawn an eternal comparisons to a young Pat Riley, a coaching prospect who jumped from playing to brought to the broadcast routes to the coaching chair. Los Angeles is in full confidence that their version of Eric Spoelstra or Steve Kerr is a culture setter and who can grow the franchise over a decade. So the idea is, yes, they gave him a 4-year deal, but the idea is to hopefully that Redick can help build a culture here and possibly push this Laker franchise forward into a new philosophy and just like a new realm of where the NBA is heading to. And I think J.J Redick sort of fits that bill, as he's been a guy that is well known, well documented with his podcast out there, that he is a basketball sicko and just loves the sport, everything about it. He is a very detailed oriented individual, which is, I think, a very key thing that you need as a head coach in this league. And I think making that transition also depends on how easy the Lakers make it for him, because not only bringing on along some assistant coaches that can help you along the way, but their main guys as well. So we already know LeBron James is probably in favor of a guy like J.J Redick, or else he wouldn't be on a podcast with him. And then Anthony Davis as well. That is another guy who's going to be key in this, in helping J.J Redick to usher into this new era of Laker coaching. So those two guys are going to be big for the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to helping J.J Redick sort of ease into this coaching role. Hopefully we get to see him coaching as early as Summer League, because I think that's when we'll start to see what J.J Redick looks on the floor and then what he can do in that wise. But I talked about assistant coaches, and so who could be the assistant coaches? So this was some talk earlier. This was from Johan Buha, the beat reporter for the Los Angeles Lakers, and there was a couple of names that have already surfaced that could be joining J.J Redick on his staff. And a few of them you do know, and then some of them were also in contention for this Laker head coaching gig. So this is according to Johan. So the assistant coaches for Redick staff will include, or candidates will include former head coach and recent Trailblazers assistant Scott Brooks, also former Lakers guard Rajon Rondo, ex-Laker and current Dallas Mavericks assistant Jared Dudley, and Sam Cassell, according to league sources. So all those four names have had ties to the Lakers in one way or another. I believe Scott Brooks is before not this run, but he has interviewed for the Lakers coaching gig, and then also Sam Cassell was one of the guys who were talked about as interest for the Lakers head coaching gig. So him also being a name for assistant coach makes some sense. And then the two names that I really want to get to is Rajon Rondo and Jared Dudley. Starting off with Rondo first, because there's a lot of people who are talking about Rajon Rondo becoming a coach and helping the Lakers sort of bridge that gap. And this has kind of been a fan favorite because he's been the name that I've seen the most. I've seen it in the comments that Rajon Rondo has been the guy that the Lakers wanted to be head coach. And then him coming in as an assistant coach, we know that what he can do for a guy like Anthony Davis, but also he can be a guy to hold a guy like LeBron James accountable, which is a very important thing to do, especially this far off in his career. And you're coming in with a new first-time head coach, which a guy which are kind of friends at this point. So you're gonna need a guy who to kind of be that that a-hole in the room and say what needs to be said. As a guy like Rajon Rondo is perfect for that type of feel. And then on the other side of things, you've got Jared Dudley, who is the ultimate team chemistry guy. Any team he was on, he was really loved. Even if he didn't play that much, he was a guy that was always helping out the young guys, always bridging the gaps from some of the bench players to the starters, and he was always in their ears to like what they need to do. And he did the same thing for the Dallas Mavericks, was a huge help for that team. So Jared Dudley being another name that could be joining this staff is very interesting, just because he is a very good guy when it comes to team camaraderie, and I think it is extremely important when bridging the gap from that new coaching staff into the next one. So these next couple of weeks are going to be interesting because we're going to see some names that are going to be added to J.J Redick's coaching staff. And it is going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. And like I said, hopefully we can get to see him coaching as early as the Summer League, because I think it's the California Classic is first. So that will happen first and then the Summer League. So hopefully we get to see J.J Redick as early as that, coaching some of the young guys and see how he is as a temperament holds up, or how he is handling calls, how he is with doing interviews, doing all these different things that a head coach has to do for an NBA team. But it is very important that the Lakers got this. The timing of this couldn't be more crucial, with the Lakers having the draft next week, and they have 2 picks, which are going to be of note, because that 17 pick, there's going to be a lot of guys that the Lakers could possibly use and possibly implement or draft that could really help their team next season. And then also the 55th pick, which I am assuming that it is going to be Bronny James. So that's going to be another guy that is going to be needed to be developed and really take his game to the next level. So hopefully like a guy like J.J Redick can do something like that. He has a lot of backers around the league. One of his biggest supporters, Coach K, really believes in a guy like J.J Redick and what he can do for a team like him. And you couldn't have a bigger advocate than Coach K for you. And then he also has a good relationship with some of the players already on the Lakers team. Him and Austin Reaves have had a relationship. Austin Reaves has been on J.J Redick's podcast a few times. So hopefully them getting together and then them working out can help things on that end. And then also I think J.J Redick can be a guy that can also maybe lure some free agents this way. So guys that I would keep a keen eye on is guys like Klay Thompson and even Chris Paul, because I know they're good friends. I know many Laker fans probably wouldn't want that, but if Chris Paul, if you can get him for possibly the minimum, especially if the Golden State Warriors trade him, because I believe he has one more year in his contract. And then also a guy like Klay Thompson, I'm pretty sure he'd be pretty interested what he can do on a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and J.J Redick as the coach, because they've been drawing up a bunch of OTAs or out of bounds timeout or after timeout plays on their podcast Mind the Game. So maybe that draws or lures a guy like Klay Thompson over to the Lakers. So there is a lot of dominoes that could fall with J.J Redick becoming the next head coach. But what do you guys think about it? Do you think this was the right move for the Los Angeles Lakers to hire J.J Redick as their next head coach? And what do you think he can do for the Los Angeles Lakers? Do you think he makes sense as being the guy to lead the franchise into the next frontier? Or would you want somebody else like Monty Williams or James Borrego, who the Lakers were very heavily into as well? So let us know in the comments down below. I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.